Hey guys, it's Scott. I hope you're keeping cool in this hot July. It's pretty hot in the Midwest here. I want to give you a little update on what's taken place since my last video. I know there's been a little bit of a gap, and hopefully we'll get back on the road with some more Carpool Orthodoxy. But I went through a Chrismation ceremony, and so now I'm officially Orthodox. And I'm excited. It seems like only yesterday I was at Mount Athos in January of 2019. And my first time at Holy Trinity was November 11th of 2018. And so it seems like it's been a fast journey for me. But in many ways, it doesn't feel like it's been fast enough. So I think I was ready to become Orthodox months ago. It's funny because I hear Father Tim sometimes say that people have spent years and years studying and reading before they decide to become Orthodox. And from my Mount Athos video that you might have seen, I'm a Christian who, when God opens doors and is working in my life, and I'm grateful and I see his hand working in my life, I've learned not to be slow or to be more cautious as I might otherwise be. And I tend to embrace and walk through those doors that are opened more quickly. And so this is definitely one of those moments where I feel very blessed. The people God has brought into my life, Holy Trinity, Father Tim. I feel very blessed to have experienced Mount Athos. And I also feel very blessed to have been able to share Carpool Orthodoxy and some other things with you guys as well and get to know some of you. Some of your comments have been wonderful. And I hope that we're able to communicate more as well in the future. So I'll be doing a video on a skeet north of Kansas City that I've been volunteering at to help them with some projects. You know, they have a lot of work to do. They work hard. And I try to go up there a few times to help out. But I talked to Father Alexei, who runs this skeet, and asked whether he'd be willing for me to do a video project with him, and so he's agreed. And so one thing about our society, and I'm not making any judgment regarding politics or whatever, it's very American to talk, and very American to talk about ourselves and maybe our accomplishments, and so that's just the world we live in. But the one thing that I find very intriguing is when I come across monasteries or people who have taken that step beyond talking about their faith and actually living their faith as a monastic, to take a vow of poverty, chastity, and obedience. You know, can you think of something that's more un-American in our society when you start thinking about how things are? And so I kind of like have a soft spot for monastics in terms of I'm blown away by their willingness to step out in faith in order to grow their faith. And I just think it's amazing. So I'll be doing a video project with Father Alexei. Maybe we'll figure out exactly how that's going to be. It won't be like Carpool Orthodoxy, but we'll try to make it so it kind of reveals the life he has and his story, which I believe he was Protestant growing up, and that his evolution and of his faith. So look forward to that. What is the purpose of Carpool Orthodoxy? And as I started talking with Father Tim, I have a very comfortable ease with Father Tim. And I say that only because that's not normally the case as I've come across people of faith in clergy. Usually there's I don't want to say guardedness, but you want to make sure you don't come across as, I don't know, a heretic or ignorant. I don't know. And so sometimes it creates an opportunity or more time to build up. But for some reason, the way God's opened doors and has brought Father Tim into my life, I was more open than I've been perhaps with anyone else in my past regarding pastors with him. And that's not, you might have a hard time with this, but that really isn't my normal personality with people right away, is to be very revealing and Although I say this, and my wife's like, I can't believe you're doing this YouTube channel because you tend not to be revealing, but you're telling people a lot about yourself. And that's true. I have a tendency not to reveal a lot about myself until I know people. So this is a little bit different. But I go back to my point, Father Tim. The conversations that I have with him, I feel comfortable pretty much telling him everything, which, can be good. It's good for me, the hearer, I don't know. But he's fine. But it's like, there's that openness. So I feel not guarded. I feel the ability to ask questions. So part of this process of Carpool Orthodoxy is to kind of like give you an example of, not that you can have the same conversation with the priest you go into, but not to keep you from experiencing something because you're uncomfortable. And so I tell people now that Orthodoxy is not something that's common in the United States, and so that alone creates barriers for people not to have experienced it. But when you throw in that Orthodoxy, if a first, second, third century Christian were to come back today and go to an Orthodox church, they very much would identify with the worship, the liturgical aspect of it, because it would be something that they did when they were here. And so part of it is, blows my mind that I'm able to experience something that early Christians did. And that's more authentic to perhaps what we hear today. So as I have Carpool Orthodoxy with you and I go through it, part of it is to hopefully have you guys comfortable of walking through a door, talking to a priest, even if you're not Orthodox, and see what you have. One thing I've found about Orthodox is it's not so much how they say, what they talk. There's not going to be a debate on who knows the Bible better, but there is a humility, there is a joy, there is an authenticity that I find with Orthodox, not just the clergy, but with people as well who are Orthodox. There is it's not so much I'm trying to change you, is a reflection, and not, of course, it's a generalization, this isn't for everyone, but I've noticed it's more of a reflection of, I can't change you because I need to change myself. And whether it's a Jesus prayer or the way I think, pray, contemplate, I care about you, but I'm also working on me. And hopefully what happens is you notice people who aren't just trying to make you better, they're trying to make themselves better, and that's attractive. And so I've found that in Orthodoxy for myself. I don't hear a lot about things I've heard in other churches, and I hear people who have humility, joy, and an understanding of who they are, and the potential you have as well. So hopefully Carpool Orthodoxy, again, you're enjoying it. Now, the last thing I want to say is I am returning to Mount Athos in January 2020. I didn't think I would do it. I came across this great airfare, has me flying from Kansas City to London on New Year's Eve. So I won't be having a New Year's celebration this year, which I don't tend to go all out on New Year's anyways. But I will be spending a few nights in London and then taking a flight from there to Thessaloniki and spending 3 days at least on Mount Athos and about 2 or 3 nights in Thessaloniki. So if you have any ideas of monasteries, I will go to Hillandar. And I say that because if you saw my first video, I came across this young man that was walking from the opposite direction. And he had been at Mount Athos for 60 days and was thinking about becoming a novice. And he has a Serbian background, and so I think Hillandar was the monastery, which is Serbian, that he was thinking of going to. But he basically, for lack of a better word, took care of me while I was with him, showing me things that I don't think I otherwise would have seen. And I was treated very respectfully and as an equal. And maybe he's still there, so I don't know. We'll see. But if you have any suggestions of other places to go, feel free to let me know. And I look forward to getting back into the saddle in terms of some videos in the future. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your summer and stay cool if you can. Bye-bye.